Good morning. It's your girl, Becky D, in the morning, 7 a.m., 7 days a week. We are live again this morning with a brand new topic, okay? And again, it's still Love Month, so I'm making sure everything has a way to tie into love and relationships, and not just romantic relationships, but relationships on a business aspect as well as a personal friendship aspect as well. I just want you to know that as adults, we still take tests, okay? If you're still in school, of course, you're still taking tests, okay? It's not ever going to stop, all right? I mean, I just have to put that out there. Just have to let you know, it will never stop. Now, the thing is, in school, they give you the misconception that tests are to assess your weakness. Okay? That's how we're raised up. That's how we're brought up. That this test is going to show me what you're weak in. And okay, we get that. Okay? Because, baby, I know my 4 times table, but I don't know my 6s, whatever the case may be. But the way we should approach tests is that it's showing us your strengths, okay? It's not to embarrass you. It's not to make you look dumb. It's not to say that you don't know anything. It's simply to assess your strengths, all right? And then on top of that, you may uncover some strengths that you never knew you had. And to know that feeling is by far the greatest, okay? One of the things that I've had the pleasure of doing is going with a group of people overseas. And they just don't take anybody. You go into this long process of getting in, okay? And then they bring you before a group. And you're as well in a group of people for a group interview. Now, out of all my years, okay, that was truly my first. I was still in school, still in high school actually. And I'm Googling, like, group interview. What do you do? Like, I've heard of a one-on-one. I've been in one-on-one interviews. Maybe another person, but never a group of people. And they were looking for leaders. Okay. They weren't there to see you, oh, well, she's bad at public speaking, or, oh, she can't really think for herself. And, they wanted to see where your strengths were at. And simply, that was it. So I go in front of all these adults with all these other kids around my age. And they're interviewing us. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, when do you know to speak? But what I found out in that moment is that I have a strength in speaking. I have a strength in leadership. I have a strength in making decisions quick on my feet. My grandmother tells me all the time, she was like, growing up, I didn't really talk a lot, especially to other people. Having a conversation with me was like a privilege. It was like going to see the Queen. Sometimes very rare and far and few in between. So it was an honor to be able to sit down and converse and get what's on my mind with a younger Becky. But as I got older and as I got more experiences and went through more tests and saw the other things in life and had to grow up and mature and understand that the only way I will be heard is if I use the voice that God gave me. So I developed the ability to speak. perfected the craft. And my grandma says, once you found the gift of gab, you haven't shut up. Now, she loves it. She enjoys our conversations when we get a chance to just sit down or pretty much just ride in the car together and just to talk. She loves to hear the things that I have to say, and I love to hear about the many things that she has to say. But I know sometimes she wishes that I just shut up, because I'll go in there and I'll talk all day and I'll still be happy, okay? My sister was born with the gift of gab. I don't think she stopped talking even when she loses her voice. She still talks. And she will out-talk anybody on the planet Earth. I wish the Guinness World Record book will go ahead and contact her so we could go ahead and claim her prize, because she can out-talk anybody I know. But that's her strength. That's what makes her so great into customer service, because she is able to talk so much. She's able to relate to the people. She's able to, to understand what they're saying just by talking. She's giving you a whole spiel, and she'd help you 5 different ways as long as you're listening. Every day, especially the other day, I had got a new group of kids, and I told them, I said, okay, we all love to talk, okay? You guys are at a chatterbox age. You're full of energy. You want to do this. You want to do that. But I'm going to challenge you to do something that you may not have to do all the time. I want you to listen. Because when you listen, you're dangerous. Sometimes, still to this day, I revert back to my old ways. And I just sit back and I just listen. I won't really say much. I'm just taking in the environments around me, and I pick up on the conversations and the things that are being thrown my way, and I'm like, wow. Some people call it nosy. But honestly, if I don't have anything to say, that's all I'm doing. I'm just listening. I'm absorbing. I'm a sponge, okay? I'm a sponge. And unfortunately, right now, somebody's pressing my sponge, so some stuff is getting out. It's going through one ear and out the other. So we're fixing that, though. We're fixing that so I could be a whole sponge. But when you listen and you take information in, okay? And I told him, all I did was say this. I said, stand up and do it fast. I had the sloth over there, taking her time. And you'll be amazed at how, after I said that statement, who all listened. So I said, okay, sit down. I said, now, did anybody hear me? And they were like, what? That was something that I got out of the relationship, one of my relationships. And I mean, they were very, very honed on, okay, I understand that you are listening, but do you hear me? Okay. And at the moment, in a relationship, sometimes, especially if you're in a heated situation or you're arguing, you don't understand what they're saying. But now that I've had time to process it, I completely get it. It was the fact that I was listening to the words coming out of their mouth. Okay, I know you've seen a little cartoon, especially growing up. You got the sound going on one ear and it's falling out the other ear. That was pretty much what they were saying in a nutshell. I know that you're listening to me, but you're not fully hearing what I'm saying. Because if you were, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. So that's why I looked at them and I had to tell them, okay, I understand that you're listening to me, but you're not hearing my words. So then I gave them, another test to do. Again, a test. Because I'm seeing their strengths. I'm seeing who will listen the first time and who can follow hand directions. Because every time I said something, I used my hand to motion. So I noticed that a lot of them they work better with the hand motions. And it was like 1 or 2 who works better when instructions are given. But it's not that I wanted to see or be mean to them or yell at them. Oh, you're not listening to me. No. Okay. I was just simply seeing, who worked better with what. Because it will help me go by smoother in my instruction if I know what you are capable in working with. So think of things like that, especially in a relationship. Don't just hear your significant other. Don't just listen. Hear what they're saying. Take in what they're saying. Be that sponge, okay? A little may leak out, but you're a sponge. It's okay. But absorb as much as you can. We got to find out what else is more absorbent than a sponge that won't leak out. I got to do that because that's always been on my mind. So, don't look at life as giving you tests to show you how weak you are. And then you get down on yourself and it's a downhill spiral. Use it to motivate you to find those new strengths that you never knew you had, okay? Honestly, if I would have never, ever, ever thought about this, been appointed this direction, been open to my eyesight, I would have never known that I had a gift to work with kids. Would have never known it, okay? My nephews, yeah, they're my nephews. Of course I'm going to work with them. You know, they get on my nerves. I love them. And the whole 9 yards. It's like being married. I'm sorry to compare that to marriage, but that's just how I feel. But my patience sometimes does wear thin. But I'm able to relate to them because in my head sometimes I am still 15. Okay? My age is not going to be disclosed at this time. But I'm still a little kid on the inside, so I get the things that they're trying to say, and I understand them better, and I'm able to decode what they're trying to say and work through their emotions and work through all their ups and downs because simply they can't tell you yet because they don't know how to communicate. So doing this, we're able to communicate better. Now, the ones that think they're grown, oh no, I can't deal with them. Because I tell them, it's okay to be a kid. You're going to wish you still was a kid 10 years later. But look at life tests as an opportunity to show you your greatest strengths and your untapped potential that you never knew you had before. Okay? Even sometimes, come up a little short on rent. You may notice that your art has the capability of being sold across the markets and is of very high value. Okay? And therefore, you have become a very well-known artist. But you would have never known unless the opportunity aligned, where you had to sell some art just to make sure, you could pay some bills and whatnot. You would have never known that you had this gift unless you would have had a need, okay? So sometimes when we have needs or demands that need to be met, some great things arise out of us because now we have to find ways to make sure they meet, to make sure they mesh, to make sure they come together. In your relationship, sometimes you don't know that you love a certain way until it is brought to your attention, until a test is before you, and you just I just want to love you better, and then you start to notice, oh, well, I don't love that way. That's the way you're expecting to be loved, but this is how I love. And now you're having a conversation, and now you're coming more poetic and all this stuff, okay? I'm a poet and didn't know it. I ain't about to lie. I was told that once before in middle school. In 8th grade, my English teacher, she was very cool. And she loved all my poems, but she's like, honestly, sometimes I feel like you can get a little dark. Honestly, I passed 8th grade English by writing poetry. It was something I was good at, and she knew I was good at it. So she didn't look at it as my weakness is in understanding the rest of her lessons, but my strengths are in poetry. And still to this day, I still try to write. I still try to express myself, even though sometimes my writing is not able to catch up with my thoughts. So I just have to say them. For you all, I will post a few poems. But I want you to understand what I'm trying to say. Hear me as well as listen. Don't let tests pull out your weaknesses and that's all you see. But let it show and develop and engulf yourself in the strengths that you have unveiled and that you are seeing, okay? One of my greatest strengths is love. So on this day, I want you to know that if no one else in the world tells you, I love you. I love you sincerely and I love you dearly, okay? My name is Becky D. We're live with Becky D in the morning, 7 days a week, 7 a.m. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, as well as YouTube. Check it out, y'all. Like, share, comment, do whatever you got to do. Rate it, okay? Definitely rate it. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the morning.